Hi guys. I'm so excited to be back. I had done like an IG live 2 seconds ago, but there were a bit of issues. So I'm trying to see if they'll be resolved here. There is Sam's invite. I go. Yay. Sam, just let me know. It's saying it's waiting for you. Saying that, like, do you know my last IG live with you last year?
Oh,
Like last year, my last IG live was with you, and this year my first IG live is with you, which is so cool. I'm like so excited to
so
like. It's
exciting.
just so exciting just to know like how much has changed in such little time. So, oh my
Right?
gosh, I'm so excited. Shout out to Mabato. She's our first viewer.
Um,
And at the Nita, he's our second viewer. Thank you for joining us, guys. We'll be getting into the interview shortly. But first, Sam, how have you been doing? Are you
oh
good? Is
man,
everything
I'm
fine?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything's have been hectic, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm
You're
great.
pressing on. I like that. So we are going to go straight into it. Well,
No problem.
I am eager to know. I would love for you to present your story to the people so they can know. Just take us through your journey from deciding to release the book. The last time we had spoken to you on this IG Live platform, we had said, Sam, please release work. And I'm so excited you actually took like a huge leap and decided to release like the whole book. That's so exciting. Like, I would have not had the courage to do that. So I just feel like I have so much respect for you to have decided in like a period of weeks, like, I'm gonna get this done, putting everything together and putting it out there for people to see. So take us through your journey. I know you had said to me that you had been working on the book since 2016. What has
Yeah.
it been like from 2016 to February 2019? Take us through that.
Well, it's been a roller coaster of emotions, definitely. Because I mean, I think a lot of artists have uh, a certain perfectionist personality.
Right.
So, I mean, from the inception, it's just been a back and forth thing. And I think, honestly, this book has been done for the past year. It's
Right.
been complete, and it's literally just been sitting idle. And because you always visit the work and you always find something wrong. There's always
Mm,
something wrong. So I think it
right.
just got to a point where it's like, okay, design freeze. I've done this. It's come this far. So it just
Mhm.
needs to be put out there like yesterday. And obviously, with a lot of nudges from people who have been expecting this thing,
Ah,
such
you
as
had
yourself,
people.
thank you very much. I had a whole list of people who were like, yo, bruh, where's the book? Like, can you put out a book already?
No, as a supporter, it's so beautiful to have, as a supporter, to support someone that actually does the work and actually sees the need to put stuff out there. Like, I'm like so for your work, like, especially just seeing how you've evolved since I've known like your work, because I've been following your work longer than I've even talked to you. So it's just exciting to see the leap that you've taken. And like, oh, dude, I know, like you said, that it's been a roller coaster. So thank you on behalf of everyone for taking that stand and just being courageous enough to do that. Well, on another note, I want to know about what it felt the moment you released it. I remember you texted me and you're like, my website just launched, and I'm like, girl, I'm already on your website. Like, what are you saying? So, how has it been like? How's the reception been like? How did you feel the minute you published everything and it was just out there and there was no taking it back?
Honestly, it was terrifying. I think it was actually a lot more terrifying than working on the actual book because
Right.
it's like you literally stripping yourself in front of everybody. I mean,
Mm,
it's the internet. Everybody's got access to this thing. So you have, people asking questions. So it was scary, really. It was scary, but I think the good thing about it is I have and I've always had an extremely solid support group. I mean, in terms
oh,
of people, yeah, in terms of people around me. Reception wise, I think the best thing that's happened this far is actually having somebody send me a message and tell me, do you know what? I completely relate to this work, to the images, to the poetry. Like, this has really touched me. Because, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I decided to put the book out online for free, was
Right,
because really I just wanted it to get to as many people as possible. Because
right,
I mean, I had said that it's more than a body of work, really. It's it was a growth process. It was a healing process for me, and I'd only hope that it would resonate well with, the next person.
right.
Mm.
So was it always the plan to create content for people? I went to a book launch, for instance, yesterday, and one of my questions
Mm.
was, when you were creating the content, were you bearing in mind people, or how are people going to receive this? Or was it first for you and then it was like, oh, I think I should actually put this out for people to see?
Honestly, it was first for me. I mean, as selfish as that might
It should always
sound, but
be. Yeah,
it it was first for me. And I think that's the thing with my art. It's about how it makes me feel first, and I can only hope it'll make the next person feel better. But it's never been about doing it for people, if I can
right,
put it that way. And I think
right.
another really dope thing that happened, I managed to get in contact with some lady in the UK. She's originally from here, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently she's been running exhibitions in the UK every towards end of year. So she's
Wow.
actually invited me to take part in one of those, which I think will be happening in September. So I think that's something to look forward to as well.
That's so already, like that is the kind of feedback and reception you're getting already. Like that's all it took was you releasing work, and then all these
Hey,
opportunities follow. So inspirational. Like I'm so inspired, legit. That is exciting. I'm sure you're excited for that.
I'm so humbled. Like, I am so humbled. I think
Right.
it's done more than I'd expected in the short time that it's really been out.
Mm,
Yeah, way more than I expected.
right, right. And I mean, you've spoken just now, you said to us that you initially did not plan to necessarily release it for people. You had done it for yourself first. You owed it to yourself, and then it became something you thought was bigger than you, and so you decided to release it to the world. My question would be, how did you manage the anxiety that came with doing that? Because your work is just the nature of your work in general is very personal, very vulnerable, very sensual. And I can imagine what that must have been like. The pictures aside, because people can attach words to pictures and they can,
Mm.
interpret it however way they want to. But your poetry as well, which I think was also another bold move. So how did you manage your anxiety of, you know what, I still need to put this out there. I'm sure you were thinking, what are people going to think about me? How are people going to perceive me, knowing some of my most emotional times and how I think of the world. How did you manage all of that in the process of releasing it?
You know, the anxiety never goes away, hey? Like, it stays there. I think
Right.
to this day, even every single time I put out a piece of work on my gram or on the Facebook, it's low key losing my mind. But I think it gets to a point where you you really, like, the need to put out this work outweighs what people might think of you. And honestly, I think I'm successfully at a point where uh, I don't, for lack of a better term, I kind of don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's
You
the
know,
best way to put it. I like
especially,
that.
especially when it comes to my work. I
Right,
don't care what
right.
you might be feeling on the other end. If it's a good thing, great. But if you're judging, I'm sorry. I can't help you with that one. You know,
I love that. No, that's the attitude to develop because I don't think any of us would have the courage to release if we decided, oh, what are people going to think? Sometimes people will misinterpret what you put out. I've had that a
exactly.
lot. People will just attach weird things to it and change it to translate it in a different way. But just knowing, oh, I did this for myself and I put it out in a proper, humble, an authentic version of myself. It's a replica of who I am. I think that makes it so much easier. It would be different if you are not, being yourself, but you are. So it's just like, I am who I am, take it or leave it. I just want to go to some of the comments that we have coming in. At the Nature says, you are my inspiration. So that's for you. And N at N1K underscore U says, absolute genius. Yes, I think she's genius as well. And
Thank
Mabacho
you.
says, where can we access the book?
You can access the book at www.0200sam.com.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of the
Cool.
first, tabs like when you get on the site.
Cool. All right, so moving on, you said something to me in one of your messages that I found so profound. You said you owe the world art. What does that really mean to you?
I think I've had conversations with people close to me about this. Like my art literally haunts me. I think that's how partly how this book was birthed. Because there was a period in my life where I'd literally always wake up at 2 a.m. That's how the 2 a.m. Sam came up. And
Right.
I'd get up and I'd genuinely be bombarded with these ideas, these pieces of poetry, words, like things that I wanted creative wise, things that I wanted, to do. And it's the kind of thing that if I feel like if I don't deliver, it keeps growing, you know.
Mm,
So art, it's a gift that I've been given that I'd be very selfish to the universe if I decided to just, keep this for myself. So I think that
mm,
that's where that came from. Like, and I think if any creative who's been given such a gift owes the world a fraction of that, at least a fraction of that.
mm. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. People need to learn to understand that, you have to sow. I think it's also part of appreciating just the gift of being able to create. It's more like saying to the
Mm,
universe, thank you for giving me this. I'm going to give you
yeah.
something in return to show you what I have done with what you've given me. So I think that's very interesting.
Mm,
So speaking about words and speaking about 2 a.m. and the metaphor behind your name, I know that on your website there is also your poetry. As someone who, as personally, as much as I do photography, my power or my essence is really in my journal, and so I write a lot as well. But I cannot like visualize myself releasing my words, like the stuff I write in my journal. So why do you think for
mm.
you it was so important to do alongside your photography work to release your poetry as well? Why did you think, it was necessary to make that step?
I think for me, photography is also poetry.
Mm,
I've always seen it that way. And I also said this on the site, like that, you know how with a photograph, it allows the viewer. It allows you to interpret it in your own way. But
Right.
with poetry, I'm giving you my story, like my end of the stick, you know.
Right.
Whereas with photography, it's something that we can share in together. So I think in as much as I enjoy putting work out there that people can interpret, I also sort of want somebody to know, my perspective, where I'm coming from.
Right. I think that's interesting because I know, for instance, for me, when I've done documentaries, my first documentary, I had put captions, and I remember I had collaborated with a writer for that, and so it was Tabang Sakabe, and I looked at my work. I remember before even getting his captions, I just felt like, oh, the words, I'm not sure about the work. And then I saw the captions alongside the work, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is it.
Mm,
So I love how you are basically capturing how words have shaped the identity of your visual work in terms of giving you a certain control over the way that your work is translated.
mm,
We know that different people can, like we said earlier, translate things in different ways, but being able to say, but no, this is how I want you guys to see this, and this is what I feel, and I'm not going to somehow see the visual part of it silence my voice as a person,
mm,
which I think is very interesting because this year, actually, one of my like prayers to God this year is to kind of have my voice shine through more than my work itself. So that's a
mm.
very good thing that you're doing there. I think a lot of us can learn from it. Moving forward, I'm going to talk a bit about the vision for your site. Now that it's new, it's fresh, you released it early Feb, what can we expect?
Huh. More work. More work. I'm quite excited because I mean, once I've gotten this exam thing out of the way, I'm going to travel a bit. I
Ooh,
mean,
that's
I
good.
it's sad to say I have not touched my camera since in like last year. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, more work, more photographs, more emotion, more poetry, really. And there's, I might be working with another artist from back home.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully something great will come out of that. So that's something to also look out for on the website.
Right.
But yeah,
That's cool. So
I'll
we've
leave
got
it
next.
there for now.
You always do, Sam. You
Don't
always
I
do. You never
always?
elaborate. Okay, I'll live with that. That's good enough information for me to be able to have something to aspire to. I'm excited to hear you'll be doing a collaboration. That's always
Mm,
fun. I'm excited to see how whoever you've chosen to work with will kind of shine through and how you'll shine through. I'm big on
mm,
collaborations. I'm pretty interested in seeing how that will pan out. And just in terms of the website, I'm excited to see all that you plan to do with it. I'm glad that you've mentioned traveling because I remember during our last interview, you had a little quote on places and how you should wait for them to tell you certain
mm,
things, how they're messaged in places. We had spoken about landscapes on that particular interview. So I'm excited to
mm,
see that you're actually taking that further and being able to travel and see what other places have to offer you. There's no doubt that you'll have many opportunities as you continue to do that, as you already have with getting
definitely.
people to have you give you exhibits in UK. Like that's a big, big deal. So I'm really excited about that. Once again, just run us through how we can reach you, your website, your contact details, any information that you would want to let everyone know in closing.
Okay, website again, www.0200sam.com. Instagram at 0200sam. I'm not really active on Facebook, but what you get off my Instagram is what you get off my Facebook. What is my name
Right.
on Facebook? It should be Modisenyane on Facebook, yes, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken.
But you're active on Insta and definitely on the website, so we'll be able to reach you
Yes,
there. Okay,
most
great. So
definitely.
in
Most
conclusion,
definitely.
my last question would be any advice for other creatives? I see a lot of people inspired by this interview from the comments that I'm seeing and just by what
Hmm.
you've done in general. What advice could you give creatives specifically in terms of creating kind of a safe space for your work online?
I think, okay, to begin with, a very general comment for all creatives, in fact, for everybody, really, it surround yourself with people that inspire you. I've found that is very important. We feed off energy, you know. We feed off all kinds of energy. So it's important to have very positive energy, people with very high vibrations of energy around you, because it's really, and I think it's, like I said to you, it's one of the ways I've been able to put this out, you know, is to have people there who will really kind of urge you on, especially at times when you feel like, okay, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I've really had a solid group of people, you included, obviously, but that's very, it's key in terms
Right.
of putting work out there. It's it takes a lot of work. I mean, I think it's actually amazing because I worked on this with a great deal of help from one of my very close friends, JJ. Thank you very much. But this took, I think, about a week for us to build.
Mm.
And but it's like any design process, you know, it's a back and forth thing. It takes time. But what's important is just, you know, put the work out there. It's
Right.
interesting that I was going through a book by Austin Clune last year. It's called Show Your Work. I think
Mhm.
in every creative should try and, you know, get their hands on that book. It's called Show Your Work. And there was one chapter that really stood out where he's like, you know, as an artist, as slow as progress might seem, but in terms of like having your work out there on the internet, on a website, for instance, make sure, like as mundane as it might sound, but make sure that your web ID is your brand. So
Mm.
if there's anything that, you know, if there's anything you need to do is buy that domain name, you know,
Right.
whether it's Tawela Cams 0200, that is you. So buy that domain name, you know,
Mm.
buy it, shelve it until a time when you're ready to put out your work. But I mean, you need to get that. That's your identity, you know. And I think really that's where I began to commit to this. I bought the
Mm.
domain name 0200 Sam. And after I got the domain name, it was like, okay, you've got this now. What's your excuse?
Yeah.
You know, the
I
little things,
totally
the
heard
little,
that. Like, once you get the domain name, it's like, okay, I've paid for
you know.
this.
So
I
what,
get
what,
you.
what now? I
I
mean,
feel you on
slow
that.
progress is progress nonetheless. This thing started in 2016. It's 2019 now, you know, but it's here. The work is out there, and that's the underlining factor. Just put the work out there. You always have
Right.
that voice that says, "Are you sure? Is this what we really want to do? What's so and so gonna say? Huh? What's your family gonna think?" It's
Mhm.
Everybody's got thoughts. Everybody will always think something. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true.
Hmm.
All right, cool. So I am so thankful to you for lending us your time. I know you're super busy. So thank you, thank you, thank you for this follow-up interview on your website. Once again, congratulations. I know I've said
Thank
it
you
many
very
times, and
much.
I know I'm not done saying it. I'm probably gonna text you a million times again to say thank you. Congratulations. No, I'm really, really genuinely so proud of you and proud of what you're doing.
Thank you so
And
much.
basically all the authenticity, like I said, attached to it, and how you read a lot. Like you're saying, you read a lot, you invest a lot in how to better yourself and how to become more confident in putting the work out there. Because I know last time, around the time that we had our interview, I know a lot
Mm,
of people I've spoken to at the same time are like, oh, I can't release, I can't. And people are now becoming more confident with the idea of doing that. Being able to have a
mm.
follow-up interview with you on the same issue and kind of seeing, like you're saying, your growth from just merely a few weeks ago to now is so inspirational just to know that, you actually put in the work. You decided as an individual, like as much as there was all that inspiration, you decided as an individual, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to make that step. So kudos to you. I'm so, so, so proud of you, and I'm
Thank
excited
you
to see
so
what's
much.
to come. All right,
Thank
cheers,
you
Sam.
so much.
Thank you, thank you. To all our viewers, thank you so much for watching and everyone that's written nice things.
Yeah.
Abatu checked out the website and she said it's a beautiful website. So clearly
Thank
you've
you
got
so much.
thumbs up over there. And we've got a couple of emojis and people sending string of heart emojis as well to the Instagram live. But thank you so much, Sam. This will not be the last time we hear from you. I
No,
know when you do your
it
exhibit, I will
won't.
definitely want to be the first to know. We will want to be the first to know how that went. But yeah, all the best
Okay.
in everything that you do and even in the schoolwork that you're doing now.
Thank you so, so, so much. And really, I'd like to thank everybody who's joined us today. And remember what I told you about like a really solid support group. A lot of these
Mm,
people have been with me, you know? So I'd really like to say thank you very much to everybody who's been patient with me and all those
mm,
who've really encouraged me to put out my work. Because I mean, as an artist, sometimes you don't know how good the work is because you've been staring at it for so long. But
so
you
long, yeah.
always have those people who are just like, yo, man, come on. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
very much for having me here again today. And until next time.
Until next time. At Bokani, just before we sign off, at Bokani.undercut says, I came too late for the party. Well, Bokani, we have these IG lives at 8 p.m. every day, but if you missed it, I'll be sharing it on my profile in a few seconds, and even if you miss it then, you'll be able to access it on my YouTube later on this week. So you don't have to be late to the party. The party's still on. Thank you so much. Also at N1K underscore you says great interview. Thank you for watching. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Alrighty, Sam, that's it from me. Thank you so much once again. Ciao.
Thank you so much, Lava. Bye bye.
Alrighty, bye.